Hello viewers, Media J2K here with another review of one of those figures I received in that box of loose eBay hauls. I finally made it to the Croc Master with Fiona and her babies. Oh, she knocked over one of the babies there when she made a step. Alright, and she has, one of her babies turned out to be an albino crocodile with which is, they did it accurate with the red eyes. Let's see if we can, there you go. She's got red eyes. And I just heard that 1 in 30 million to 1 in 50 million crocodiles are born albino. That's how rare they are. We got the Croc Master and Fiona. Fiona, I was saying in another video that she's heavy. She's heavy. It was a lot of work getting this leash in the Croc Master's hands. His hands are really stiff. For those of you who have one, you could tell me if your experience was the same. The cool thing about this Croc Master is he's got very good articulations. Mine came very flexible, so that's good. Let's see. We'll go over his first. His head moves up and down at the neck joint, at the shoulders, and the head itself doesn't turn too much, which is good because then, you know, that hose won't last too long if you make too many turns with it. So pulsability is limited with the Croc Master, and I can't seem to, oh well, okay, the breather is a backpack. Oh, okay, so you can remove it there, but I don't know if it removes from his face. Seems like it could, but I don't want to mess with it right now. Alright, so the breather fits like a backpack, but as you can see, his head articulation to the left is very limited, and to the right, it'll probably go all the way, but again, I don't want to overflex the hose. The breather on his face connected to the tank on his back. He's got the eye on his belt like the, whoa, what happened there? Like the original version, so that's good. The Cobra logo on his breastplate on the right side, I think that's where it was on the ARAH version. He's got the removable knife in the sheath. Let's pull that out and look at it. It's a nice knife. Like, he'll be able to definitely get some food for Fiona and the babies with that knife. Very Rambo-ish, obviously, right? Gotta get that in. He's got his pistol here on the side. Let's see if I can get it out. Again, I'm limited with his hands because once I take him off the leash, then I'll never get him back on. Well, I will. It'll just take a long time. All right. Let me do this. All right. Got his pistol out, and it is a type of revolver. Not a big cannon, hand cannon like Copperhead comes with. But it is a revolver. So, I guess a 6-shooter or less, right? Or maybe it's a 7-shot 6-shooter. You know, if you know what that is. He's also got the hook in the other hand. Again, the I Know What You Did Last Summer hook, that was hard to get in that hand too. So what I did was I put the hook in the left hand to spread out the fingers for a little bit, and I tried to put the leash in the right hand, but that didn't work out. So I had to put the leash in the left hand, and then I put the hook in the right hand, and eventually I'll switch them out. He also comes with the whip, which is not stretched out like the ARAH version was, and the tip of the whip you could see, man, the shadow's getting in the way. The tip of the whip is that bump piece there. It's not the split end like the ARAH one was. And the whip on the ARAH figure is all tan, not black handle with, not black whip material with the green handle, which makes sense because aren't whips made of leather? So that the dark is more accurate. I think. I know leather can be dyed to multiple colors. But Croc Master with his full face mask and his red eyes, I guess there would be some sort of contact lenses, right? Maybe they're digital so he could see at night better, so like night vision red, and then the red just makes him look scary coming up out of the water. But I think that's the point of the Croc Master. He can submerge with the breather and then pop his eyes out of the water like you would see a crocodile coming. Similar crocodiles look different. So what I'm going to do, give me a few seconds. The leash, that's as far as I could get the leash around Fiona's head. So it does strap right at where her jaw connects to her skeleton, I presume. That's how their anatomy works, underneath all that skin and muscle. However, that's as far as it'll go, and as you can see, I pushed it far enough back to get her mouth open as far as it could. But I'm thinking it should be more wrapped around the joint there. Let me take it off. Alright, so Fiona, let's talk about her for a little while. Her head. So her jaw's got very good flexibility. They did put that, they made it accurate because it's got the side muscles there. The tongue, I don't know if the tongue lifts at all. I don't have anything to pull with it. Well, let me try something. Alright, I know where to get her tongue. So I don't know if the tongue is articulated separate from the rest of the head. But her bottom is connected to the head, but the top of her mouth is a separate piece that lifts up and down like that. I think as with all crocodiles and alligators, the eyes go with the mouth, which is weird thinking about it. If imagine our eyes moving with our mouth every time we opened it, that'd be weird, right? So she's got good articulation at the neck. She can even nod yes and no. And then at her shoulders, she's got separate articulation. So she can move up and down. She can move side to side. And she could twist too. And she could twist her head too. And then twist her body and her head. Like that. See? So you get a really weird shape. But that's what crocs and alligators do. They grab their prey and they start turning and turning their bodies like this until the prey breaks apart. If you ever see those horrible videos where the trainer gets their arms stuck in the mouth of the crocodile or the alligator and then they start spinning around, it's bad. It's bad. She's got shoulder articulation. Look, she's got 360-degree mobility here, which alligators and crocodiles don't have, but toys. And she's even got the hand, I guess we could call it, right? The paw has got its separate articulation too. So that's the front paws. The belly is hollow. You could press it here. And it also looks like there's a tauntaun slot in there, so you could, stick Luke Skywalker in, if you know what I'm talking about, but it doesn't. There's no way to stick anything in there. Or maybe even the babies. But, I haven't seen this yet. The tail, if you know what the dots, they're not cyberdyne. These are the dots that go on this flexible rubber that have the wire inside. Right? So we can shape Fiona's tail how we want it. Like those, if you remember, maybe you don't. But if you grew up in the 80s like me, you went somewhere when they had the gummy doll figure, the gummy posable figure, Gumby, not Gummy, Gumby, the green #1 that was made of Play-Doh, right? And his toy was flexible, and toys that were made of flexible rubber with the metal inside always had the dots. Always had the dots. So I'm thinking for some reason that's for airflow. Even when I was a kid and I saw that, I was thinking, oh, that must be for airflow. On the cartoon, on the animated show, not a cartoon, it was a stop motion animated show. Those Play-Dohs obviously don't have the dots because they're not the figures, they are actual Play-Doh. But the figures came with the dots and a lot of the joints. Gumby had the dots, and the donkey had more dots. I don't remember the donkey, his friend's name. Pokey. Maybe it's Pokey. Gumby and Pokey, right? But here, the back legs of Fiona, they do have some in and out articulation, a very little amount. And I'm thinking they could go 360 degrees, but I don't want to do it. But they do go front and back. And the rear paws have their articulations like the classified figure ankles, right? Classified, ooh, get out of the way of the camera. Classified figure ankles, right? So now we'll go over the Croc Master, as that's all you can do with Fiona. It's, oh, the tail. The tail also has a lot of articulation at the butt of the crocodile, I guess you could say. The tail can turn left and right like that, which I don't know if their tails move exactly like that, real crocodiles, but you get those, that much articulation. So there's a very big improvement to the solid plastic crocodile we got with the ARAH Croc Master in 1987. However, the babies are articulated exactly like the prototype of Fiona here from 1987. So whatever this doesn't do, the one in 1987 didn't do either. The good thing about the one in 1987 is you could get the leash around it a little bit further back. That's all. But there was no jaw articulation on the 1987 crocodiles, so you weren't hindering it with the leash. All right, so let's run over Croc Master really quick. He does have the brutal chest cut in the middle. He can turn. Again, I've seen people turn these a lot more, but I can't ever get it to turn more than just a little bit left and right, the whole body at the waist. So I don't even try. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. He's got the hips, the drop down hips, and the thigh twist, double jointed knees. This Croc Master was like the first generation of classified, so not pinless, but still double jointed knees. He's got the shin twist on these boots. These are, I like the scaling on these boots. These are really cool looking boots. And I like the scaling on the left arm gauntlet. And the gauntlet twists independent of the arm. So again, there's cool play features even on the figure here. The double jointed elbows, the bicep twist, the butterflies. Again, not very flexible, and that weird gap in the shoulder. Maybe that's the drawback of tank tops. I'll have to look at my Cobra Island roadblock one day when I pull them out in the black tank top, black with the gray design on it. See how that goes. But you can see there's the butterfly moves, the biceps, double jointed elbows, not pinless. And this on the right arm is a separate gauntlet, and it moves independently. Not all the way around. I think this one moves. Let's see. I think you can spin this one all the way around. That silver one, yeah, you see that? That silver one, not so much. But the scaling on the back there, so when he's swimming under the water, looks like the top of a crocodile. However, the breather will give it away, because crocodiles can breathe underwater. Humans obviously can't. And then this proves that Croc Master is just a human being in an advanced swimsuit, right? And coming out of the water and you see the single eye, you know, that would be scary on one side. But everybody knows crocodile eyes aren't that scary, so you'd be a little bit more scared. Aren't that big, so you'd be a little bit more scared. Let's see if we can get the pupil there. Yeah, see, they did a pretty good job. That is definitely a croc eye on Croc Master's belt. Let's try it again. There you go. One more time. Look at Fiona's eye, Croc Master's belt. Very similar. They did a good job there, the painters at Hasbro. All right, so the leash is a big chain, and this, like I said, it's leather and spiked, wraps around like we saw Fiona's neck. The hook is for hooking up the food that he feeds to Fiona and then feeding it to her through the hook. So in case Fiona gets the hook, he can just let it go and not lose his arm as trying to feed her. The babies, I'm sure he could feed, and they probably might nip at him, but I'm pretty sure they won't be able to. Well, they probably could take off a fingertip, even if that size, so he's got to be careful. And then eventually they'll grow up, you know, to be similar to their mom's size. The whip, like I said, even in 1987, there was no articulation, so this is just more for looks. But the one in 1987 was extended already, so you could make it look like he was swinging his arm around to whip to get her attention. That's what it was for. Right? The holster for the pistol, the breather. Let me see. Give me a few seconds here. Okay. The breather does come out. See, there's the peg that fits into the apparatus on his mouthpiece there. So just slide it out carefully. It wasn't as hard as I was afraid it was going to be. So again, that's a mini tank, like kind of like what you see in the movies they put in their mouths. It just gives them maybe a minute or two of oxygen, right? So they can be underwater for a very short amount of time. This one's a little bigger, so maybe 15 to 20 minutes at most. I don't know. If you're a diver, you could tell me how long those tanks last, even if they're in existence. Maybe they're not even in existence, because why would you only need to go under the water for a short amount of time? In his case, it would be he sees enemies approaching, he drops under the water as when they're close enough, right? See, again, he would have to be within 5-minute distance from them, I'm thinking, so he could get under the water and still have reserve air if he needs to go underwater again to get back to safety. So we got the double jointed knees. He does flex really well. I really like this Croc Master figure. I have one in the box. I've never opened it yet, so now I don't have to. I think I said that in the other video, because here I got it loose and complete in that eBay haul. But let me try the waist again. Nope, couldn't get the waist to move, and here you can see without the breather, we've got a lot of flexibility, so that's good. That's good. And the hose that came with the ARAH version pegged into the breather in the mouth and then into this slot on the Croc Master's shoulder, so it would come out and flex back a little bit, and at any moment that thing could just pop out off of your figure and you might lose it. So for those of us that have it, we have to be careful. I think I lost one once, so I had to buy a whole new figure to get the breather hose. Yeah, of the 1987 version. With this one, it's a little less easy to lose, because if you have the tank pegged into the backpack at all times, in theory, the hose is not separate from the tank. I'm not even going to try. Looks like it might be, though, but I'm not going to try. I am not going to try because I don't need to lose it. All right, so thanks for watching, everybody. This is the Croc Master from the G.I. Joe Classified line. It came in a wide box with Fiona, with her babies, and all these accessories. So, Cobra!